If you get to play with mine, I get to play with yours.
We're born in the moonlight. Ain't no fantasy. Can't bring the sunlight.
Hello beautifuls, this is Aromie here. Welcome back to Changeling. We're here about to go home, but Brenna over here is picking up trash. So we're having to decide. We're gonna help her pick the trash or walk past her. I think I'm gonna extend my hand to help pick up the trash for her, because she did save us in the very beginning of the series, helping us with that troll thing under the bridge. So let's help her. If she's mad about this choice, then we're gonna come back. Well, Allie would probably come looking for me if I took too long, but it was hard to walk past her without helping. I cautiously set down my backpack as I went to help her pick up some of the trash. It looked like maybe a group of students had been eating here at some point. There were wrappers and a few paper cups too. Ugh, what a mess. I bent to pick up one of the papers, a little annoyed. There was a bin not even 20 feet away. What do you think you're doing? I looked up at her and she was standing not far away, glaring down at me. Helping? It looked like a big mess for one person. Brenna scoffed. I don't need your help. No, of course not. I just thought it was polite to offer it. You aren't offering it. You're forcing it on me without even asking if I want it. Okay, I suppose I did do that. I'm sorry. Humans are always like that, presumptuous, full of yourselves. I mean, I'm not really human, apparently. She leveled an amused glare at me, speaking with what almost felt like a really weird affection. And so stupid. What does that even mean? Brenna walked past me with an armful of trash. She glared my way as she passed. You are also far too kind considering your woeful lack of self-preservation. You will do better as a little human child than one of us. Be very, very careful. The wilds where fairies sleep are too dangerous for the likes of you. But I might be a little late for that lesson now. But I'm not. She walked away before I could finish, dumping the trash and disappearing inside. What the heck? There you are. What's taking you so long? Nothing. Just Brenna was here, being Brenna. Well, let's go home. It's getting late. Okay, I'm ready. I don't know if that was useful or not. We walked to her car together and she drove me home. By the time I arrived back, Mom was also getting home, so I didn't have much time between homework and helping with dinner to think more about what had happened during the day. I was exhausted by the time I fell into bed, and just hoped that would keep me from trying to sleepwalk away into the night. Even with the barrier, it was a little unnerving to think I was still trying to escape. That was the last thought I had before falling asleep. It was chilly, but the sun was... Oh, Wednesday, October 27th. There's the date. It's almost Halloween. It was chilly, but the sun was nice and warm. He sat in just the right spot. The week was going by pretty fast. It felt like the lull before the storm, though, if only because Samhain was around the corner. I wondered what everyone else was up to. The rest of the club had been noticeably scarce during school. Then Allie had brought me straight home since everyone was going to be busy. Sometimes it felt like there was just too much going on in my life at the moment. Too many revelations and new people and weird things to process. How much of this could I handle before I started to break? I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure I wanted to find out. What the weird sound really set me on edge, but I quickly realized it was coming from Danny's yard. Sounds like a basketball or something. Getting to my feet, I wandered to the fence and pulled a plastic lawn chair over so I could stand on it and peek over the top. It would have been embarrassing if that had been his dad or something, but it sounded like a ball being thrown against something, so I had a feeling it was Danny. I was right. He was standing at the back corner of the garage, throwing a football against the house and catching it when it bounced back to him. There was something sort of sad about watching him do it alone. Maybe because it felt like he should have been able to practice and play with the team, not by himself in an empty backyard. Should I call out to him? Call out to him, say hi, leave him alone, continue watching? I want to call out, call out to him. I hesitated but finally called out to him. He immediately turned and smiled brightly when he saw me. Oh, he's so cute! Hey! Forsaking the ball, he jogged over, grinning up at me. This was probably the only time in my life I was ever going to get to look down at him. It was weird to see him from this angle. He had amazing hair, all thick and curly. My fingers were suddenly itching to play with it. Going to say hi or just stare? I leaned against the fence, resting my elbows on it. Your hair is really thick. I want to braid it. No, I had enough of that when my sister was still living at home. Oh, you have a sister. Older, I presume. Yes, and she thankfully lives far away now. I grinned down at him. Really now? So your sister used to bully you? You have no idea. Well, I can't say I blame her. Your hair definitely sort of calls out to be played with. Hey, I wouldn't mind if you just play with it. Braiding though, not so much. But a turnaround is fair play. If you get to play with mine, I get to play with yours. I was so glad no one was around to hear that statement out of context. I wasn't quite sure Danny realized how it sounded either, so my mind was probably just in the gutter. I cleared my throat awkwardly. I mean, we're all almost adults here, I think. I don't know their ages. So you're not playing catch with Elliot today? Nah, I think he's still asleep. I thought he didn't sleep much. He doesn't at night. Apparently he gets sleepier right around dawn and grabs a few hours in the morning, and then it's nearly impossible to get him up. So what exactly are you up to? Spying on the neighbors? No, not at all. Not all of them, just you. I see. Well, I guess I don't mind too much. Good thing. He shoved his hand in his pockets and smiled awkwardly. Wanna go for a walk? Okay, I'll meet you out front? Sure. I walked around the side of the house to the front yard, meeting Danny by the front fence. Ready? I glanced back at the house worriedly. I should probably let my mom know I'm leaving. We won't be gone long, just to the bridge and back. I don't like that bridge. Okay. She was busy anyway. I doubted she'd notice I'd be gone. I mean, I could text her, right? Hey, Mom. Going out with Danny on a walk. Be back in like 10. Yeah, let's go. I don't have to tell them every time I go for a walk. From your past experiences, I think you have to. It's not like I was a little kid anymore and I had no intention of getting lost today. Okay. He led me to a little paved sidewalk set back from the side of a road a bit and shielded by trees on one side. After a moment, Danny gently took my hand, fingers sliding between mine. Is this okay? I don't think you have the right to ask when we already kissed. And you initiated it without asking, so it's fine. I flushed and looked away, unable to keep the goofy grin off my face. Of course it's okay. As if he even had to ask that. Good. I gave his hand a gentle squeeze, and he squeezed back, smiling down back at me, flushing all the way to the tips of my ears. I looked away quickly, but moved a little closer, walked in silence for a few minutes. I've been thinking a lot about everything going on lately. Sean, Derek, on our date. You too. You've been thinking about it. Well, I'm worried about you. About them, I mean. About everyone. There is that thing about loners going missing. I wanted to ask about it, but I haven't really seen you much. Yeah, we're still not sure who the culprit is. All the victims are werewolves unaffiliated with the clan. Like the three of you. Yeah. That's terrifying. Who could be behind something like that? Anyone. Human hunters, a werewolf that doesn't like humans. Everyone's a bit on edge. Why would the agency not do something? It's hard. Loners are usually standoffish, and if they won't talk to us, it's pretty hard to find any leads about what's happening. Would being part of a clan really offer that much protection? It's hard to say. It might. Something was definitely bothering him. Michiko, what if they're right? What if I really don't belong here anymore? I was entirely sure what to say to that. He sounded so sad. I sighed quietly and thought very carefully about my answer. I'd say that's your decision to make. No one can tell you when or if you'll ever come to that conclusion. And if you decide this is where you belong, then they should respect that. What about you, Michiko? Where do you think I belong? But don't give me that pressure. Oh dear, I wasn't sure I was at all equipped to answer that. I couldn't even keep my own life straight lately, and much less decide how he should live his. Still, looking up at him, I felt he really needed an answer to this. He looked so sad and so lost. Shit, they're actually giving me a big-ass choice here. Definitely here with your family. You might belong with them. You only belong where you want to belong. That's a good choice. I don't think you belong anywhere other than where you want to belong. There isn't some inherent quality that makes you belong somewhere. If you want to be here, if you're happy here, then this is where you should be. And I would miss you if you ran off and focused on doing werewolf things. I'm glad to hear I'd be missed. Look, I don't know how much this matters, but to be honest, the first thing I remember thinking when I found out about you was that, well, I was relieved that you're just a normal guy. It was comforting. I don't think being a werewolf makes you all that different from the rest of us anyway. You're just Danny. Danny stopped abruptly and pulled me into a tight hug. Oh, I love hugs! Thank you. That actually means a lot. I hesitated but wrapped my arms around him and held back. I was so grateful that we were hidden from the street. Not that I minded being with him, but it would be embarrassing to be seen like this by anyone else. Being in a hidden spot meant I could just enjoy being close to him without worrying about anyone else badgering me about it later. Danny gave me a tight squeeze and stepped back. Sorry about that. No, I mean, I didn't mind it. Let's talk about something less depressing. How are you doing? I've barely seen you this week. I heard Vilos is going to let you go around with us this weekend before sundown. Yeah, Ellie and I asked if you'd let me do that, just to get my mind off my lack of research progress. Sorry to hear that's not going well. I shrugged helplessly. It's not like it was his fault. Well, Vilos suggested instead of focusing on book research, I spend more time thinking about myself, my own memories. That's been an interesting exercise. I mean, I've been doing what he said, writing down anything unusual I recall. No luck? It's not that. I mean, I can't always remember what's real and what might have just been pretend or some weird dream. But I have remembered some things. I think I just ended up with more questions about myself though. Why's that? I don't know. What is it? Where we used to live, there was this weird hill in the woods that Spencer and I used to play on. I keep having the feeling there's something important about that hill that I'm forgetting. Fairy hills are a thing in fairy lore. Okay. I don't know. Maybe there's some connection. Maybe I'm just grasping at any straw. At the same time, that feeling of forgetting something, of trying to recall something that just won't quite surface, is something I've been experiencing a lot lately. But I kind of wish I could go back to the old place, you know? Just look around all the places we used to play, you know? Why don't we do it then, after the holiday, when it's safer? I'll go with you. Really? Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate it. I mean, maybe there's nothing there, but that's where we lived for so long. Maybe there are some answers there, or hints. Or nothing. It can't hurt to look. I leaned on the railing, watching the water trickle off into the trees. I keep thinking about this first time I came down here and encountered that Spriggan. I laughed dryly. I'm so glad I already knew about the club by that time. If I had seen that thing beforehand, I probably would have thought I was going nuts. I heard it was pretty scary looking. I don't know much about Spriggans. They're supposed to be pretty mischievous. Thieves, kidnappers, and a lot of other things. Though this one was just sitting on the bridge singing. It's funny, it was quoting this old poem and then Brenda quoted the same one when she helped me. Why must not look at goblin men? We must not buy their fruits. Who knows upon what soil they fed their hungry, thirsty roots? Feels a bit late for that warning. Feels like I've looked too long. I've already been whisked to fairy, already eaten the fruit. It felt like that since the very first day I was pulled into the club. Michiko? I started looking up at him, realizing what I'd been saying. Sorry, I just have been buried in my own thoughts a little too long, I think. And I think I've been recording way too long. My throat hurts. It's okay. Anyway, I keep thinking that if Spencer saw all the same things I saw as a kid, why am I the only one in this position now? I don't know. Unfortunately, I haven't learned a whole lot about fairies and how these things work. Maybe the only reason he ever saw them was because he was with you. Maybe. We were silent again. I watched the distant trees swing. The foliage had noticeably thinned as autumn crept on. Everything would be bare soon. There was a little flash of movement that caught my eyes. No! I'm not dealing with this! In the distant trees, I caught Danny's arm. Danny, do you see that? I pointed to a large shape half concealed by brush. By brush? A wolf. Okay, I thought it was the, drifter. If I was almost certain, it was definitely too big to be a coyote. Besides, they were skittish and wary. A coyote would have already scampered off. This wolf was just watching us. Danny's body was rigid, intense as the wolf looked our way. Anyone we know? No. He grabbed the railing and vaulted himself. Oh, hello? Vaulted himself over the side of the bridge. Danny, I thought this was gonna be a short walk. I kind of figured it was gonna be a short walk. He landed with a splash in the shallow water. The wolf broke into a run, crashing away from us through the trees. Go back home. I need to check this out. Dude, no, what? I bit my lip wanting to argue, but Danny was already running after the wolf. Be careful, I guess. Danny didn't answer. I watched him until he disappeared. Please let him be okay. Please let me be okay. What if that was the person responsible for all the missing werewolves? Oh man. I anxiously headed back up to the house, praying Danny would be okay. How could he just run off like that? It was dangerous. Maybe I should text Elliot. I fished my phone out of the pocket, intending to do that. There was a rustle of leaves behind me. Nah, Sorry guys, we're gonna save here. No thank you. I don't want no spooky stuff happening when I'm home alone, okay? Okay, no thank you. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.